Paul, you joked this morning that you had a lot of practice on your defending, but in all seriousness, what did you do well without the puck tonight?
I think moved as 5, Ken. I think the we didn't get ahead of ourselves in the defensive zone. We weren't trying to get it to a next place. We just stayed in the battle and stayed in the fight. I thought we were ahead of the game a little bit in our first 2. We were trying to get stuff going, right? We're trying to generate. And I thought we were really effective at being comfortable on our own end. They're such a powerful offensive team, and they have a unique way of controlling the puck that you're going to spend some time in your end, regardless of how well you play. And I thought when we were there as 5 and committed to it.
Go next to Jamie Thomas from Jets Radio. Go ahead, Jamie.
Hey, Paul, how good was your third line tonight?
Oh, I wouldn't number them 3. That's so good. They were true to identity, I think, and they've been building toward it. You look at Mason Appleton driving the net in this series, and they've been building. It's not a line that you put on the ice necessarily to hold water anymore. Like, that's the vision for that line. They'll just generate it in a different way, right? Net drive, win a battle behind the net, those close plays around the net. So they were really good. I think it's been there for a little while, but it looked like it was starting to come together tonight.
We'll go next to Sean Reynolds from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Sean.
Thanks, Gregor. Hey, Paul. I talked a lot this week about your guys in the film room and kind of the hockey nerd aspect of this team. I would imagine a team like Toronto can be a little confusing to kind of crack the code on, but did you feel heading into this game that your team had kind of discovered a little better how to limit this Toronto team and execute that tonight?
I don't know. I understand the idea from watching it. I don't know that we would take it that far. We spent a lot of our time here this week trying to define who we are and our ability to play against different styles of teams, different offensive games. So we'll get into, a Montreal game in a couple of days that'll look different than this. But so I thought we adapted fairly well over this week, and there's some really strong leadership. The Mark Scheifele line tonight, so hard and so good in their own end. Just the basics of defense, understanding the role that they had in playing against Matthews and their line. Those guys were really, really good. So I thought you saw. You always talk about adjustments. I think this is all player driven, right? It wasn't a coaching win tonight. I think the players really bear down on some of the basic parts of the game, and that's where we want to.
We'll go next to Scott Billick from the Winnipeg Sun. Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, Paul. What signaled the change with Morrissey and DeMelo, and what led to that for you tonight?
It was a matchup issue. You know what? I mean, smart guy would come up with a way to make. I don't want to tell you the exact things. Like I don't think we had everybody at 100% tonight. Like we had some. Like every team, you're always dealing with some issues, right, on your bench. So we just made that switch because of the matchup. So we changed the matchup and the pairs. Is what happened at the same time, and that was just kind of after the third shift. We wanted a little different look.
We'll go next to Jeff Hamilton.
That was as
Winnipeg.
gray as I could possibly make that answer. Sorry, Scott.
We'll go next to Jeff Hamilton from the Winnipeg Free Press. Go ahead, Jeff.
Paul, this week wasn't always pretty, but you bank 5 of 6 points against a very good Toronto team, and you save your best effort for last. How are you going to describe this mini series against Toronto?
I'm going to package it as the whole trip, because what we're doing here on all of this is just learning on the fly. Part of it is the whole experience of this, right? Another 11 days isolated, quarantined, took a day, had an incredible defeat on Hockey Night in Canada on the Saturday night, 7-1 in Montreal, and then scratch and claw, find a way to win. Goaltender stands on your head. Best game for last in a hard, gritty effort. So I think we got a really smart hockey team, and I think they learn on the fly. That's what I'm coming away with. We're really, really good. Happy to be going home.
Just a few more for Coach. We'll go next to Murat Atesh from The Athletic. Go ahead, Murat.
Thanks, Gregor. Hi, Paul. A second ago, you said that it was really player-driven in terms of bearing down with that 5-man in the zone effort. And then you referenced the Hockey Night in Canada game last week. I'm wondering if that stubbornness or determination, where that comes from, and what sorts of things, maybe even a game like that last week, can play on a night like this where they just decide to commit as hard as they did.
Right. Leadership and intelligence. I think the understanding that 7-1 game was a one-off and not being panicked by it. I do think we had a little bit of a confidence issue coming back, and maybe you should have one, right? You get beat 7-1. So we weren't quite as sharp and things weren't quite as easy for us. It slowly built confidence in the game and the intelligent part is figured out kind of what you need to be really good at to try to beat a team like Toronto. And they were exceptional, especially in game 2 of this series. Toronto was fantastic in that game, and recognizing the other team gets paid too. So it's not always, hey, if you just go out and play your game, you're going to win. But I think, we had a good day off yesterday. That helped. There was a real nice energy in the morning skate, kind of a confidence there. Maybe it's just excitement about going home. But there was a real positive kind of feel going into the game tonight.
We'll go next to Ken Weave from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Weaver.
Paul, what was said on the bench during the review, and did it serve as any reset for Brossoit, or was that a situation where he might have thought the whistle was blowing because of how the play went?
Right. Nothing. That was just 20 guys on the bench, I guess 19 guys on the bench going, that's a hand pass. Matty Prefontaine was clean on that one right from the start, that it was a hand pass. So that one we weren't worried about. Maybe, I don't know if it was a reset for him. It was a hell of a shot. But that one we didn't spend a lot. The only concerning part about it was how long it took to get to the point that we were sure they were getting to. And then you get that 30 seconds of extreme discomfort that they're not looking at the same thing that you're looking at. But we were pretty sure that one was clean.
And final question to Scott Billick from the Winnipeg Sun. Go ahead, Scott.
Hi, Paul. Hopefully this one won't be as gray, but I'll accept that was from the VHS comment from earlier. So, but I'm wondering, you had about 2 minutes of adversity in this game in the second period there where the shorthanded goal comes. Obviously, you guys win 5-2, so I assume you're happy with how your team responded. But what did your guys do well after those 2 goals kind of went in and flipped the game around?
You know what, Scott? I thought what we did well is that our game was this was one of the most consistent games that I thought we had played all year. And getting into the third period, I remember the line that at 3-2 that Scheifele's line has, right? They have the chance, and then they go down and have just like a dominant offensive zone shift. So I thought what we were good at is we've had to bounce back in games, right? We've had to kind of get off the mat sometimes. We've had to, claw back into games. Regardless of the score, our game was pretty darn good right from start to finish. We were solid. When we made a mistake, it was almost more of a bounce of the puck, or if we missed a check, everybody on the bench saw it. It was clean. So there wasn't nearly as much confusion in the game as I think we found in game 1 and 2. Kind of learned how to sort it out a little better. We were pretty solid right from the get-go.